Hello student, myself Professor Ushali Tapde from ICEEM Engineering College. In last lecture we have seen what is the creational design pattern. In that we have seen what is the creational design patterns and we have covered three different creational design pattern. The first one is that abstract factory, second one is that prototype and third one is that singleton. As we know there are 23 different design patterns which are get divided, or we can say they are get organized based on their purpose as well as based on their scope. So what is the purpose? That means in which type this different design pattern comes. There are three different types: creational, structural and behavioral. So this 23 design pattern comes under which type? Okay, that is nothing but a purpose. Whereas what is the scope is based on whether that design pattern is applicable to the class or whether it is applicable to the object. Based on that the different design patterns are get organized under the class design pattern and under the object design pattern. Now in the last lecture we have seen what is the creational design pattern, under which we have covered three different creational design pattern, that is the abstract factory, which is applicable to the object design pattern because it is dealing with the object creation. The second one is that prototype, again it is dealing with the object creation. We are using the same prototype instance for creating different kinds of object. So again it is dealing with the object, so it comes under the object creational design pattern. Whereas the singleton design pattern, which is included in your syllabus, there are basically 5 to 6 design pattern under the creational, but out of which only 3 are included in your syllabus, that is the abstract factory, prototype and singleton. The singleton design pattern, again it is dealing with the object creation, that's why it comes under the object creational design pattern. It create only one instance of your class and gives the global point to access that instance. Okay, so we have covered all these things in the last lecture. From today's lecture we have started with a new topic, that is the structural and behavioral design patterns. That means we have started with the next design pattern, that is structural, and after that we covered the behavioral design pattern. Now what are the different structural design pattern? Before that we have to know what this structural design pattern does, what is the purpose of structural design pattern, where it can be the applicable, and then we have started with the one by one the different design patterns which are included in your syllabus under the structural design pattern. Okay, now we start with the structural design pattern. The structural design patterns are about organizing different classes as well as their objects to form longer structures and provide new functionality. What the structural design pattern does, it organizes the classes and their object in a such a way that it can provide you the new functionality. Okay, new functionality, or it will provide you the different functionality, you can say. So the structural design patterns are adapter, bridge, composite, decorator, then facade, flybait, private class data and proxy. These are the different structural design patterns. Okay, now use case of structural design pattern. We have to see what are the use case of the structural design pattern. When two interfaces are not compatible with each other and you want to establish a relationship between them through an adapter, it is called as the adapter design pattern. What is the adapter design pattern? When you want to use two classes for carrying out your task but they are not compatible by their interfaces, in that case you can use the adapter design pattern to create a relationship between these classes and use them to carry out your task. Adapter patterns converts the interface of a class into another interface or class the client expects, that is the adapter lets class works together that would not otherwise because of incompatibility. So in these types of incompatible scenario we can go for the adapter design pattern. As the meaning says that adapter pattern, if you want, as I've said, if the client wants different classes to work for him but they are not compatible with each other, in that case the adapter design pattern makes that classes compatible by creating the relationship between them. So we will see now how this adapter class will work. So the adapter class, adapter design pattern is the first design pattern from your structural design pattern. So what the intent of adapter design pattern say? Again, I am revising that whenever you are explaining any design pattern, you need to explain it with the help of different points such as intent, applicability, structure. Then inside the structure you have a different classes. You need to explain the collaboration of that classes with each other, then consequences, and lastly you need to explain the implementation procedure. Now, what is the intent of the adapter design pattern? The adapter design pattern converts the interface of a class into another interface client expect. Adapter lets class work together that couldn't otherwise because of incompatible interface. Continuously we are talking about that thing. That means it makes the two classes compatible to work together. That's it. That's the work of the adapter design pattern. It wraps an existing class with a new interface. Okay, how it does that two classes compatible by wrapping an existing classes with a new interface. Then independence match an old component to a new system. This is an intent of the adapter design pattern. Now the next is where this adapter design pattern is applicable. Adapter design pattern you can use when you want to use an existing class and its interface does not match the one you need. That means if you want to use some classes to carry out your task but its interface is not matching with your system, in that case you can use the adapter design pattern to make their interface compatible with you. Then second is that whenever you want to create a reusable class that cooperates with unrelated or unforeseen classes, that is classes that don't necessarily have compatible interface. That means whenever you want to reuse the classes, by cooperating their unrelated classes that not necessarily have the compatible interface, in that case also you can use the adapter design pattern. Next one is that you need to use several existing subclasses. For example, whenever you want to use the various subclasses but they are impractical to adapt their interface by subclassing everyone. So an object adapter can adapt the interface of its parent class. In that case also you can use the adapter design pattern. What is the next is about the structure. Here we will see what is the structure of adapter design pattern. In this structure we have a different classes. The first one is that client, the second class is nothing but a target, third one is that adaptee, and last one is nothing but the adapter. So the class adapter use multiple. Now here one class is there, that is the adapter class. This class uses multiple inheritance to adapt one interface to another. What the purpose of that adapter class? To use multiple inheritance. What it uses? Multiple inheritance. That is, there are the multiple base class from which you are deriving only one derived class, that is nothing but your adapter. Okay. To why we need to do that? To adapt one interface to another. Okay, you have to take interface of the multiple base classes into the single derived class. That is actual work done by here. An object adapter realize an object composition. Okay, this is the structure about the adapter design pattern. Now next part is about the collaboration. In this structure we have seen that there are four classes which is get included inside this structure to carry out the task. One is the client, next is the target, one is the adaptee, and next one is the adapter. So now we have to know which classes are collaborated with each other to carry out that task. So clients class call operations on an adapter instance. In turn, the adapter calls adaptee operations that carry out that request. What the client does? It sends request to adapter class to make that class interface compatible with him. Whenever adapter class receives that request, what it does? It will forward that request to the adaptee class to carry out the actual operation. Okay, to actually make that classes compatible with the client. So the client class is collaborated with the adapter class, whereas the adapter classes get collaborated with the adaptee class. In this way there is a collaboration. The class or object participating in the adapter patterns are target, which define the domain specific interface that client uses. Whatever the interface that client uses, that domain specific interface is defined by the target class. Next is the adapter. It adapts the interface that adaptive to the target interface. Whatever the adaptive interface is there to the target interface, that work is done by the adapter. Adaptive defines an existing interface that needs adapting, that is required for adapting. Then the next is that client. What the client class does, it collaborates with objects conforming to the target interface. Now the next is about consequences. What are the consequences of the adapter design pattern? Class and object adapters have different trade-offs. A class adapter adapts. Now there are two different trade-offs of the adapter class. One is of the class adapter and another is the object adapters who are adopting the interface of their classes, concrete classes. So there are two trade-offs, one is based on the class and another is based on the object adapter. So first we have to see what is the class adapter trade-offs. The first one is that a class adapter adopts adaptive to target by committing to a concrete adapter class. As a consequence, a class adapter won't work when we want to adapt a class and all its subclass. Next trade-off of the class adapter is that it lets adapter override some of the adaptive's behavior, since adapter is a subclass of adaptive. Adaptive is the main class whereas adapter is the subclass. It introduces only one object and no additional pointer in direction is needed to get it the adaptive. These are the trade-offs of the class adapter, whereas the different trade-offs of the object adapters are lets a single adapter work with many adaptives. That is, and the adaptive itself and all of its subclasses. The adapter can also add functionality to the adaptives at once. This is the first trade-off of the object adapter. Next trade-off is that it makes the harder to override adaptive's behavior. It is harder, it making that task harder to override the adaptive class. Adaptive behavior. It will require subclassing, adaptive and making the adapter refer to the subclass rather than the adaptive itself. Now how much the adapter should do? How much the next question arises is that how much the adapter should do? This question has a really simple response. It should do how much it has in order to adapt. How much adapter can adopt the interface? That answer is that how much its capability to adapt the adaptive interface. It's very simple. If the target and adaptive are similar, then the adapter has just the delegate the request from target to the adaptive. If the target and adaptive both are not similar, in that case what happens? Then the adapter might have to convert the data structure that are between those and to implement the operation that are required by the target but not by implemented by the adaptive. In this way, it will say that how much the adapter can be accept or adapt the interface of the adapter class. Next one is that two-phase adapter. Okay, the two-phase adapters are the adapters that implements both interface of the target and adaptive. The adapted object can be used as a target in the new system dealing with target classes as well as the adaptive in other system dealing with the adaptive classes. Okay, how the adapted object can use the target? By dealing with the target classes as well as by dealing with the adaptive classes. Going further on this time of thinking, we can have adapters for implementing an interface. We can have the adapters for implementing an interface as well as adopting a end system. Now what these two-way adapters does, the two-way adapters and n-way adapters are hard to implement in a system because they are not supporting multiple inheritance. If the adapter has to extend the target class, it has to class, it cannot extend the another class. If the adapter wants to extend the target class, then it is difficult for him to extend the another class like adaptive. So the adaptive should be an interface and all the calls should be delegated from the adapter to the adaptive object. Next thing is about the adapter pattern and strategy pattern. Which type of pattern the adapter should follow? The adapter pattern and strategy pattern. There are many cases when the adapter can play the role of strategy pattern. If we have several modules implementing the same functionality, we wrote the adapters for them. That means we have a various module which can perform the same functionality. In that case, we can wrote the adapters for them so that it can adopt their interfaces. The adapters are implementing the same interface. We can simply replace the adapters object at runtime because they implement the same interface. Now the next one is that implementation. How we implement this adapter design pattern. Although the implementation of adapter is usually straightforward, here are some issues to keep in mind whenever you implement the adapter design pattern. First one is that implementing class adapter in a C++. Whenever you implement the class adapter in a C++, implementation of a class adapter would inherit publicly from the target as well as privately from the adaptive. What you have to take care that adapter could not be inherited publicly by the target class as well as privately by the adaptive class. Thus adapter would be a subtype of target but not of adaptive. Second one is that pluggable adapters. Let's look at the 3 ways to implement pluggable adapters for the tree display widget described earlier, which can lay out and display a hierarchical structure automatically. I hope you will understood whatever I have explained in today's lecture. That means what is the structural design pattern, what is the purpose of structural design pattern, and what is the type of structural design pattern. That is nothing but a first structural design pattern we have seen, that is the adapter design pattern. What is the basic, we can say what the adapter design pattern basically performing for us, that it will convert the interface of the two, instead of saying converting, it will make the two classes which are not compatible by their interface, but you want to use them for carrying out your task, then you can use the adapter design pattern so that it will give a new interface which make that classes compatible with each other by creating the relationship between them. Thank you.